Walters. My best teacher was Mr. Solomon Abayo, chemistry examiner. Long live my mentor. Christian Bernard Okello says, Mwalimu Boaz Bukachi, my former Swahili teacher at Wikondiek Secondary School. Okay, they're coming in thick and fast. Nyar Muranga. I salute Mrs. Kamau, my English class B teacher or class 8 teacher, whichever one that is. She gave me a good foundation.
Wow.
John Oscar.
Kelvin Matata says my favorite teacher was called Mr. Otuku, who taught me maths, and Mrs. Kabogo, who taught me English. But contrarily, nilipata D+ last year, yet it was my favorite subject.
John Oscar. My favorite teacher was Mrs. Njuguna, English teacher in primary school. Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Keep it coming, folks. Who was your favorite teacher and why? Let us know. In the meantime, Jalas, you know, on Thursdays, what we do, you and I tell our stories every day, right?
Yes.
A story a day. But on Thursdays, we encourage folks out there to come and tell us their story. Because we believe everybody, bar none, everybody has a story to tell. And when it comes to our guest today, you literally want to sit back.
A story a day.
There is nothing that David Ogot has not smoked, has not inhaled, has not drunk, has not put in his system on this planet. He did it all. And folks, he had reached at such a level, he'll tell us about it. But the most incredible part of it is he overcame it. And he's overcoming it every single day. David Ogot is not only the son of a very famous politician, Jalas, from your area, from your neck of the woods.
Grace Ogot.
Grace Ogot, the famous politician and professor.
Yes, Bethel Ogot.
Good Lord. So that pedigree right there, you know, is no excuse for what David Ogot went through.
Yes.
But this is his story. David Ogot, welcome to Hot 96.
Thank you. Jeff again and Jalas.
Listen, man, we know your story. There are a lot of listeners out there who don't know your story. So, you know, the way you've taken it from the very beginning, you know, how you started, you know, you were a good kid and you went to Lenana. Was it Lenana?
Lenana. Hospital Hill.
Oh, okay, fine. Go on.
Hospital Hill Primary. Then to Lenana. As you're saying, very good boy, primary school, very obedient, very good in class, loved English. But then when I got to first form and interest in girls, which was not there in primary school, when it started around standard 7, and I found I couldn't talk to girls. You break out in a sweat. So when a girl approaches you, you don't know what to say. I remember to this day, and you know, at that age, you know, to adults now it might sound very funny, but to a young person, it's a crisis. You know, you're going out, how is your shirt hanging? If you have a pimple on your face, it's a crisis, and so on and so forth. So I'm wondering how my buddies are talking to girls easily, and, you know, you go to dances and you're floating. What we call floating means you don't have a partner, so you're standing on the wall in a corner, which was called Floater's Corner. We had some magazine in Lenana. And so it would go to girls' schools, and the first page they would check is Floater's Corner. So, you know, I talked to some friends, and they said, you know, if you smoke cigarettes and you drink alcohol, because girls like bad boys, tough guys. And all the movies we were watching at the time, the novels you're reading, everything pointed to the same thing. So that's how I first started with cigarettes. Coughed like an idiot the first time. This was in Lenana, somewhere in the field. So one cigarette, you know, you could smoke it like 10 guys. So when I tried to take a puff, I really coughed, and they said, you know, you're wasting the cigarette. But after a week, like, I could inhale. And then, you know, I really wanted to get smoke coming out of my nose, and it looked, you know, like the cowboy movies and whatever. And then I stole my father's booze when they were out of town. And it tasted bad. So I said, let me stick with the cigarettes. So long and short, I would sit now you're out with the girls, I'm smoking, my buddies are smoking and drinking, I still couldn't talk to girls. My brain would freeze. Whatever I'd planned to say disappears. So at the end of the day, before going to second form, I forced myself, again stealing my dad's booze. And I would, puke and feel nauseous, but I was determined that by the time I go to Form 2, I'd be able to drink so that I can get a girlfriend or the booze will kill me, one of the above. And by the time I was going to second form, I could actually drink 2 beers. And I started with a certain brand, which my dad was drinking. So, monkey see, monkey do, literally. So the first time we went out and I'm now drinking and smoking and the girls asked me, and you? I pulled stories. I'm telling you, girls were coming even from the next table. And I said, Jesus, thank you. Problems solved. So essentially, that's how I started drinking and smoking. And then by the time I'm getting to third form, the guy is now smoking weed, bangi. So they're like asking, you're still on cigarettes? Cigarettes is for juniors, I mean, everybody smokes. That's no big deal. So I said, okay, I'm looking at weed. I'm thinking of what I've seen in movies and I'm saying, I don't think so. But at some point, there were no cigarettes. Guys were out smoking, there were no cigarettes, and they're smoking weed. So I said, let me try. And I'm telling you, when that flight took off, I'm the pilot, and the plane's heading for a mountain, and you're trying to turn, but it's flying through the mountain. Then it comes to land. Just when you're going to get off, it takes off again. And I told God, please help me land this plane. And if you can help me land and get off, I will never take this flight again. And I actually did not touch weed from that first time till much later in almost at sixth form. And later when I was out. So that was the end of my whatever with weed. So went on. Now, there's something called tolerance. Where I started with those 2 beers and you feel high. At some point, 2 beers not working. So we went to 3, to 4, to 5 to feel the same effect. So by the time I'm hitting like 4th form, I can do like 8 beers in a sitting. I remember days of rugby. And, it's like rugby would go. I don't even know which teams are playing. Me, all I know about rugby from 1, when I went to Lenana, I think it was Jacko Maido, somebody carried me plus the ball, did a touchdown with me and the ball, and I said, this is a game for idiots. And I had, every rugby term I had medical, and I didn't touch a rugby ball again the rest of Form 4. But I remember the rugby matches, a lot of booze. And there was this competition where you have guys on each side of a table and you fill a mug with beer, which is 1 bottle, 500 ml of beer. Then you start a race. So it starts with the 2 guys at the top of the table. You're competing opposite end of the table. So when you finish your mug, you turn it upside down on your head. That's the signal for the next guy, etc. So I would always be the first in my team or the last because I could do a mug like in seconds. So you've just drunk a whole beer in seconds. Then people say, okay, let's try another round. They've got on our team. They've got on Yamabite on our team. So again, another round, you drink another beer in a couple of seconds. But I never knew who was playing. I was always rugby, I just knew booze. And these were the kind of things I'm doing. So of course now my grades, by this time, are short. And I always have an excuse. There's a teacher who didn't like me. I was sick. I'll do better next term, etc. And there are other incidents cropping up. You sneaked out of school, gone to a girls' school, coming back, some of you are caught, going out, stealing a parents' car, my dad's car, other kids' dad's cars, you are caught. So all kinds of stuff. But most of the time, guys are caught, not me. But they all say that was the ringleader. And I go and I'm telling you, Jeff, nowadays, as you can see, Angelash, I am quite handsome. But at that time, I was extremely, extremely handsome. With a baby face. Like butter won't melt in your mouth. So I look at the headmaster and I say, I told these guys not to sneak out. They'll be caught. Now, because of that, they're trying to blame me. And I looked so innocent. And But at some point, by 4th form, the headmaster knew and the teachers knew it can't be every time my name crops up. It's just I'm not being caught. Such that at the last kind of supper we have for 4th formers, and the sixth formers. The sixth formers, of course, are wished well wherever they'll go. But the fourth formers, you're told, we hope so-and-so comes back to do their A-levels here. But the message, and then there'll be a message from the headmaster to outstanding fourth or sixth formers in the house. Now, the message to me from the headmaster, the one we had nicknamed Kung Fu, so I won't mention his name, but those who remember Kung Fu know which headmaster that was.
Not Big Ben.
No, this was Kung Fu. I won't mention the name. And he said the message for Dave Ogot Sr., because by that time my brothers had also arrived in Lenana, and so we were three. And remember, high school at that time, most of the time you're called by your surname. So since there were three Ogots in Tomboya, so Ogot Senior, Ogot Middle, and Ogot Small. So I was Ogot Senior.
Milton was Ogot Middle.
Middle.
And
Spike was Ogot Small. And message for Ogot Senior is we wish you well wherever you will go. But even if you get 6 points, you're not coming back to this school. And of course, I didn't get 6 points. So, Aga Khan High, DDS now, daily drinking services, because that's a day school. So we check in, jump out the window from the library or the toilet upstairs. We called it paratrooping. And we would go to Jugunas next door. Jugunas is a very big place now, and I say I'm a shareholder in Jugunas and many other places, Modern Green. Shareholder with no shares, they don't call it, but our money built those places. So you take off again to girls' schools. You change into civies, you go to girls' schools, you go to school A, you tell Jane, you are the only bean in my githeri. Then you go to school B, you tell Linda, you're the only sugar in my tea, and so on. And then you come back, change into uniform, you go home. So your folks ask, how was school? Good. Have you done your homework? Yes. And we are so good at hiding. In fact, we formed a group called the Magnificent Seven. Two guys, because now you go to high school, you don't know anybody. It's a new school. So it's like, there was another guy from Lenana, so we teamed up with him. 3 Asian guys. And one other fellow who drank, and the common denominator, we all drank and smoked, except one guy drank only. But we made him a smoker in a week, because either you fit or you're not with us. So Magnificent Seven. Right, again, movies. So we're doing all manner of stuff, but it's not done overtly. So at some point, 2 of us, one who's now my brother-in-law, were made school prefects. So I went to my dad, I need money to get, a different tie, there's a badge, and there's some other stuff I had to buy and for my blazer. And I could actually see my dad thinking, thank God, this boy has finally changed. He's been appointed school prefect. So this in Form 5, third term, as in we take over from the Form 6s who are studying for the exams, and then now you proceed Form 6 as whatever. So my dad gave me money for that stuff, which of course you've inflated the figure, plus extra money. Congratulations. And I knew he'd do this. So I went, I boozed. Then I go to school on Monday with my new stuff. Then I'm hearing some kid following me. Excuse me, sir. And me, I'm just walking. Then I remembered, gosh, I'm a prefect. So, yes, what do you want? And at some point, I put one of them in detention, only to realize detention is on Saturday. And day school, no school on Saturday and Sunday. And Saturday is one of the biggest drinking days. So you have to come to school on a Saturday in uniform. Chicks are seeing you. And I have actually a problem with that color combination, green and of Aga Khan, kind of not my colors thing. So you're passing through town, chicks are seeing you in uniform. And those were the days of platforms, bell bottoms, afros. You put your best gear as you're going out. Here I am passing in uniform. So I said, no more detention, twaki to kidogo. So you either buy me cigarettes or you give me money for alcohol, etc. Oh, I forgot to mention, we were shoplifting by this time. Shoplifting started as a joke. These guys are putting mirrors and what, they think they're very clever. So you just steal something like a rubber or a pencil just to beat the system. But by this was much earlier in 4th form, but by this time, now you're stealing cigarettes and booze. And Jeff, I can still walk with a bottle, a quarter, or 500 half, between my legs, not in my trousers. Between my legs, and you won't notice, and I'll just walk normally and come out and pay for a packet of milk and walk out. Somebody else has his half, comes and pays for something, useless and cheap, and then we all put together, what do you have? Who's got the booze? Who's got the cigarettes? And we drink. So these guys went, I think some kid went and reported us to the headmaster. So you are standing there on Friday assembly with your chest forward, and we had the following prefects are demoted with immediate effect. David Ogot, from 5A, and my brother-in-law, so I won't mention his name. But still, I would leave the house with my blazer, etc., hide them in the fence. So my folks never knew that I had been demoted as a school prefect. So unless somebody told them. So then came time for my A-levels. Now, my logic in Form 4, I used to ask guys, are you stupid? We're in changes. What's this every time you're reading preps,
Yeah.
When you get to Form 4, second term, you revise first and second form. Third term, you revise third form and fourth form. You do your exam, you pass. You go for A-levels. So calculation for A-levels was I need 1 term only. It's only 2 years, 3 subjects. What's the big deal? I didn't make it.
You didn't make. Okay, so fast forward now. You end up in India.
Yes.
You continue the same process.
Yeah.
You're systematically going downhill.
Exactly.
What are you taking in India? Because
Now,
there's no supervision, there's no parents.
In fact, Mira started in Form 6, reading for exams. That didn't work. Of course, you don't sleep. Guys were taking coffee, etc. I was told Mira also. You don't sleep. Yes, you are reading, but not retaining what you're reading. So somebody cheated my parents that in India as a student, I won't be able to access alcohol. So I was packed off. Okay, I did my A's in 79, resisted going to India until 82. So finally in 82, left for India. Arrive in India only to find that it's some states which are dry and not the one I was in. So I drank.
And drank.
And then I found hashish. And I could really play a good game of chess. Well, so I thought, I don't know. There was something called weng beng, which was pounded bangi mixed with water. And by the way, you buy bangi the way you buy cigarettes. You go to a kiosk, you can either buy the weed, which you smoke, or you can buy the weng beng, which you buy per teaspoon, you put in a glass, you mix with water. And when I looked at weng beng, I remembered this is weed. By then I had smoked weed once or twice since the first flight in third form.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at weng beng, I said, no, let me see. So some guy, and he's being advised, don't take, if you're a first timer, don't take more than a teaspoon. Should even take half. The guy took 2 teaspoons. Shortly thereafter, we saw him riding his bicycle. A lot of guys had bicycles. Me, I bought a motorcycle. I started with bikes in Kenya. From 5, I think my first bike was a stolen one, a story of another time. So this guy, we see in the middle of an interstate highway, huge trucks. The guy throws down his bicycle, he runs screaming, and he's in the middle of the road. So we had to run, grab him, tie him down in his hostel bed.
This is weng beng.
Weng beng.
You also, with your bike, you also had a monkey.
Yeah.
You bought a monkey.
Ringo, yeah. I got a monkey.
A pet monkey.
A pet monkey.
Friendly, I mean.
Yeah, there's this joint where they sell the equivalent of changa, but it's legal. So in different states, it has a different color so that you don't transport it across state borders. So I'm there drinking changa or daru, as it was called. And this guy walks in with a baby monkey. And I like pets. I like animals. So I looked, just something told me, I asked him, are you selling this? And he said, yeah, if you can give me some money. I said, I don't have money. Now, American jeans was a big thing at that time for many Indians. So, do you have jeans? I said, yes, I have jeans. So I went to my house. I think I gave him 4 pairs of jeans. And they weren't that new either. So he gave me the monkey, baby, velvet monkey. Ringo.
To do what with?
I just wanted a monkey. And the bush showed me, ask the guy. And the guy sold it. So there I was, I had a monkey.
And you used to ride on your bike?
On my bike, Lucifer, number 13.
That was the name of the bike?
Yeah. Painted red with a skull and crossbone. Lucifer, number 13. Actually, 13 is my number. It still sits on the back of my t-shirt.
So, do your parents know what you're going through now?
No clue. And guys coming home for holidays, there are specific people I would send because you want things like Kenyan coffee, maybe
tea,
can you
the
bring
usual,
me
yes.
Royco, other stuff, you know. So I would send specific people to my folks. You say David is doing very well. David is doing very well. But I think by second year they started knowing things are not as they seem or as we are being told, because now they are getting calls from family friends who I knew before I went to India, and these are Indian businessmen my folks had dealings with, who have gone and borrowed huge sums of money. In fact, that's how I bought my first bike. I went and said, my dad said, give me X number of rupees, he's going to sort you out. That's how I bought my first bike. Then Lucifer was, I sold that one and bought Lucifer. And so it's not stepping into a classroom. Second year, like I sold my passport, #Nigerians, drank that one. Third year, I tried to commit suicide because now, I'm sitting in my room, I'm drinking, and there's a party we are going to where I've sponsored half the booze. But by this time, the alcoholism is, even if you have how much in your pocket, it's not enough. Even if you have how many drinks in front of you, you're just worried what's going to happen when these finish. And India, you can't work. You can't work. There's no summer job. A guy's driving a tuk-tuk rickshaw. He has 4 degrees, but he can't get a job. So how are you going to get a job? So the things Kenyans used to time when new freshers come is chicks, because if you touch an Indian chick, you're literally, I know this guy who married an Indian chick in the town I was, he would walk with the original of his marriage certificate and they'll still beat him up. And the town I was at that time, guys would stop you and, they just want to rub your skin to see if this black is paint.
If
it's going to come off. Can I touch your hair? And so on. So that's the kind of place we were in.
So third year, you almost commit suicide?
Yeah. My life just started flashing.
Spiraling.
From third form, all the crap I've done, And I've tried, by that time, I've tried to change. I've tried to stop doing these things. And, I'm not connecting it with the booze. So I just concluded, and by this time, guys keep telling you you're hopeless, you're useless, look at your brother. My bros went to States, one before me. Spike went even before me.
And Spike ended up at an Ivy League university.
Yes.
He was at Princeton.
And later working for NASA.
That's right.
no relation to ours. You see?
Yeah.
And these are guys, first year, old folks pay fees. Then they say, no, we'll work and pay our own way, sort out the guy who's coming next.
But the firstborn is the letdown.
I'm here 3 years. I haven't even stepped into a classroom. And actually cleared 4 years. I never stepped. If you ask me how an Indian classroom looks, I have no clue.
How did you end up back home?
I camped at the Kenyan High Commission. And I said, now I'm not leaving here until you guys put me on a plane back to Kenya. I'm a Kenyan. This is Kenyan soil by international law. And my folks had sent several tickets before.
Which you...
I'm escorted to the plane. I wave at the embassy guy. And the next thing they hear, there's something has gone wrong, some fracas. Describe the Kenyan. Tall guy with a guitar, red lips. They forgot. No, can't be. He waved. I saw him entering the plane. So now this last one, what they actually did, I was put on the plane by an embassy guy who gave the ticket to the stewardess, and said, this is his ticket. When this plane is in the air, give him his ticket. And that's what they did. And then when I got to Bombay, now Mumbai, they did the same. And that's how I landed back here after 4 years. I went for a 3-year course. No degree, no passport, no luggage, nothing.
And full of drugs and alcohol.
Oh, yeah. I was high. I wasn't even sitting when that plane landed because I had 20 shillings, a 20 shilling note, brand new, which survived all those years somehow. So I'm trying to buy booze on the plane, Kenyan booze. And I'm being told you can only buy in dollars. I'm saying, this is a Kenya Airways plane. I'm a Kenyan. this Kenyan money, and I want to buy Kenyan booze. And you're telling me. So now I actually passed a hat around, and I think I had made so much noise. Other passengers chipped in. That's how I got a few dollars. And of course, I need a lot of booze, and it's a long flight. So by the time and I'm asking, where's my brother-in-law? He was working for Kenya Airways as a steward. So I'm like, where is he? And I'm making so much noise. And we've been told the plane is landing. And that's how I got off and kissed the soil. High as a kite. You know, I think there was one Pope who came here and kissed the soil.
Yes, yeah, Pope
High as a kite, yeah. So I'm passing through, I've been given traveling papers, which you hand in at customs.
Immigration, yeah.
So I'm asked, where's your luggage? And I said, I'm the luggage. That's how I came back. Nothing. And the clothes were bought by the High Commission.
What did your parents think of all this?
Now, my dad was in Mombasa. My mom was there. And by that time, I didn't know my mom's an assistant minister. So I walk in, I'm seeing my mom. I rush to hug her. Hi, of course. And some guys are pushing me away. I'm like, who are you? Bodyguards. He said, yeah, it's my mom. Hey, back off. So when we get to the house, my mom tells me, okay, now your dad's coming tomorrow. What are you going to tell him? If at least you had come with the degree, luggage, what those can be, what will you tell your father?
Yeah.
And I asked my mother, tell him about what? All these years you've come with. I said, listen, do you remember I told you people I don't want to go to India? You people insisted that I have to go.
So you're blaming them?
I actually reminded a statement I had made 4 years ago, more than 4 years. I said, okay, I don't want to disrespect you. I will go. But you and Dad will come and read. Me, I did my part. I went. So story a degree was meant to be you and Dad. Me, my part was to go. And that is the denial of an alcoholic. And on the face of it, it's logical.
Sure.
If we went to a court,
sure.
The judge would ask,
You'd have a case.
Did he say that?
You'd have a
yes.
case.
Then no case.
So you come back to Kenya,
Yeah.
you're bumming, you're doing nothing.
Now,
Your brothers are professors and they're successful in America.
Yes.
This guy
Yes.
is a wreck.
Yes. Train wreck.
Train wreck.
But you don't know that.
No.
You don't agree that.
So are you still drinking? No, not now, not now.
Yeah.
When you come back to Kenya,
Oh, yes.
you're still drinking.
Oh, yes.
Smoking.
Oh, yes.
Selling your parents' appliances.
Everything. And my wives and my kids.
Huh?
Everything.
You
even,
said
even my buddies.
what? Like a phone or what?
You met me a couple of times performing.
Yes.
Okay.
As Nyama Bite.
As Nyama.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I bugged you for alcohol.
Yeah, more than once.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
I'm broke.
Yeah.
I'm dirty.
You're making people laugh.
I'm making people laugh. But sometimes those performances, I've drunk my salary like 2 months.
Because you were a journalist at one point.
Yeah. I got fired. Kenya Times. I got fired. In fact, I lasted 2.5 years simply because I would go and do feature stories, take the photographs, and keep them in my drawer.
David, what a story. My God. It's a wonder you're still alive. How old are you?
Classified.
Come on, man. If 1979 you did your Form 6, come on, I can do the math.
Do the math.
You're probably the president's age.
Yeah.
1961?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. President's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you put it like that, president. Yeah.
So you're 56 this year.
56.
Okay, we're going to take a break, do a little sports update, come back, and now tell us how you pulled out of the madness you were in, because that's what you've done. I mean, you have this organization called David Ogot on drugs.
Goinghome.com trust.
Goinghome.com, all that stuff. How can we help people out there who are where you were for many years?
Yeah.
Just, we wrap that up.
Yeah,
Okay.
Join the world of Viusasa Entertainment and enjoy the videos you love. SMS the word Viusasa to 40984. Choose your preferred package plan. Select the amount for your chosen package plan, then click Next. Viusasa, connecting you to the videos you love.
A story a day. Only on Hot 96.